5. Hail Karuga! Kapla! Kapla! Back at you.
I'm going to take this opportunity, however, to suggest that we all hail Karuga. That's all I'm saying.
Forgive me, Doctor. I'm receiving a number of distress calls. I don't doubt it.
Y'all remember to tip your waitresses. Have a mighty fine night.
If you come in peace, surrender or be destroyed. If you're here to make war, we surrender.
Both good. The important thing is I'm meeting new people.
When the appointed hour arrives, the Marauders will deactivate their cloaking devices and begin transporting Klingon shock troops directly to the landing zone.
Landing zone? Where? Tell me.
Why not? Your feeble weapons will be useless against us. We will kill all your males and take your females to mate with.
All right. Now the Federation's taking over, whether you like it or not. You people, you've been running this planet like a piecework factory. From now on, it's going to be under one roof. You're going to run it like a business. And that means you're going to make a profit.
Look at these 3 words written larger than the rest, with a special pride never written before or since. Tall words, proudly saying, "We the people."
Hi, I'm Nicole DeBoer. I played Lieutenant Ezri Dax on DS9, and I welcome you to Bird O' Prey 5 channel. Hail Karoga.
Hello world, it's Bird O' Prey 5, Kapla, and welcome to Bed Life for, what's today? Monday, February 26th, 2024. Kapla world. It is, well, there's various days today could be, but for us today, it's World's Funniest Joke Day. As last time, as past Friday, we were left with a bed life asking what was the funniest joke I ever heard. And earnestly, as I tried to recall the funniest joke I ever heard, I did come back with a couple of suitable answers. And then when Sissel Prey came over the weekend, and I asked her, because the funniest joke I could think of was actually one she told me, and she actually got the same answer before I even said it. When I said, "What's the funniest joke you ever heard?" she had already started answering with the joke that I had remembered, and so we were very much on the same, wavelength, as we often are for those questions such as those. But then she went ahead and also told me what she thought was the funniest joke she ever heard, which was along similar lines in that it was a short type joke. But I also remember cracking up the first time I heard that joke, but I personally never used it because I thought that was just A, too mean, and B, I felt like that's the kind of thing that I would joke about, ha ha ha, but then I would go home at night and I would cry about it because I would feel that was probably, I'm sure Sissel Prey didn't make it at my expense, but it was the kind of joke that I know was just a little bit too legit, too real. And I would, anyway, we'll get to it. We'll get to it in a moment. Hello, everybody, Kapla world. Thank you all for tuning back in. Richie Poole first in the chat with a lone alpaca. And Richie Poole says 3 alpacas walked into a bar. We're starting off with the world's funniest joke. Words and pictures is, did they order the lemonade? The lemonade. Oh, the lemonade. 3 alpacas walking to a bar. Did they order the lemonade? Richie Poole is laughing. Jedi Bill says, Kapla, Brother Warrior, Birthday 5. All should hail Karoga. Kapla, Jedi Bill, and Jedi Bill was very angry last night at the YouTube algorithm. And also check out his stream, his rant stream yesterday. Not Ryan Johnson says, hello and Kapla. Hail Karoga, hail Karoga. Not Ryan Johnson. Mike Richards is greetings from Columbus, Ohio. Greetings, Mike Richards. Mike Richards asks, why did the chicken cross the Mobius strip? Yvette, the lovely Yvette says, good evening, Bird and everyone. Good evening to the lovely Yvette. Miss Londell's groovy movies, says Kapla, Miss Londell. And Yvette says, Bird, what do you call a fly with no wings? A walk. Wah, 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 wah. Thank you, Yvette. Mike Richards says, to get to the other, no, wait. You cross the Mobius strip to get to the other side, but a Mobius strip is a single-sided shape. It's very, very confusing. Professor Brainy Specs says, world's funniest joke. Nope. You won't like it, Vertebrae 5. Not telling you. Life with Matthew says, Kapla, Vertebrae 5. Glory to the house of Karoga. Kapla, Life with Matthew. Professor Brainy Specs says, Life with Matthew, who are you? And Life with Matthew says, a man can a man truly know himself? Yes, he can. But I'm not sure you're going to want to know the answer. Dan Ben says, hi. Welcome, Dan Ben. Jedi Bill says, hello to Life with Matthew. Professor Brainy Specs says, Life with Matthew. Are you saying you don't know who you are? Professor Life with Matthew says, sup to Jedi Bill. Professor says, Kapla to me. Mike Richards says, Life with Matthew. Maybe ask Life with Matthew if he's flexible. Gorilla's Random Thought says, Kapla, Gorilla. Hakeem says, Kapla, Bird. Kapla, Hakeem. Life with Matthew says, Professor Brainy Specs. Only through outside observation can a person be known to do their own blind biases. Ergo, no one can know themselves. Interesting. Need a second to chew. The Traveler is in the house. Kapla, the Traveler. Says, greetings, birds, turds. And fighting nerds, no, that doesn't work. Well, it technically does, given Salty's latest channel change name. One more minute. One more minute. There's one little piece left. Okay. We had to finish. Okay. Finished the hot dog. So we're all good now. The gorilla says kapla. Hakeem says kapla. Professor Bernie Speck says, "Light with Matthew. Actually, you should have replied to my initial question. Says, with what do you want?" And Matthew says, "Be careful about the world's funniest joke. I hear that was used in World War II with devastating effects. No, the nuclear bomb is not the world's funniest joke, not even in Korea." The Traveler says, "Funniest joke, the reality we live in." That's actually not that bad, The Traveler. I mean, no, it is a bad place we live. The reality of it being a joke, no. Life with Matthew says, "Professor Brennan Specs, okay, I'm willing to give it another go if you want to start from the top." Yvette says, "So true to The Traveler." Words and pictures says, "Kapla Bird, good to hear you, good to be here. Good to have you here, The Traveler." John Araki with a 99-cent super poop super sticker. Thank you so much. That's why didn't it has yet to show up on there it goes. There, and it's Kissing Dax. And it's Kissing Dax. A very good start to the day. Thank you so much, John Araki. Man, do those girls never stop celebrating Lesbian Kiss Month? I don't know. I'm not sure we should ever stop celebrating. I was saying stimulating. We should never stop stimulating or celebrating lesbian love month here with Kissing Dax. Live with Matthew says, "Professor Brainy Speck, someday I'll get to know the full context for the quote." Live with Matthew says, "Professor Brainy Specs, what do you want, you moon-faced assassin of joy?" Oh my God. Professor Brainy Specs is Life with Matthew. Never asked that question. And that's what Life with Matthew says. Someday he'll get to know the full context for the quote. The Traveler says, "Who is this Life with Matthew guy? He must be new to this channel. Someone gift him a damned membership." He already has a membership. Traveler, he's got a 5 after his name, so he's a member. Not as long as you were with your purple 5, but his gold 5. He's been a member for quite some time. Jedi Bill says, Kapla, brother warrior, Bird of Prey 5. Kapla, brother warrior, to words and pictures. Life with Matthew says, the traveler, I'm like a bad penny. I just keep showing back up. Jedi Bill says hello to Professor Brainy Specs. Words and pictures says, hey to Bill. Professor Brainy Specs says, life with Matthew, not too much longer. Jedi Bill says hello to the traveler. Professor Brainy Specs, hail to Jedi Bill. Cinnabon Bunny says hello, Cinnabon Bunny. It was a lot of fun last night, Cinnabon, on your stream, your Star Trek quotes story stream, Star Trek quotes game stream, and then after I fell asleep, I went back in the morning, and it was a lot of fun with you, LDG, and Mr. Londell in your panel for the rest of the night. You guys have some really good chemistry. It was an excellent panel. Hadn't seen a good panel like that in some time. Hakeem says hey to Jedi Bill. Bill says hello to Cinnabon and Hakeem. Cinnabon says hey. Mike Richards says hey to Professor. Brainy Specs. Melted Copper, Kapla Melted Copper. Says good evening, people of Earth. It's a leap year, so we get more February this year. Yes, we do. And I'll be honest, Melted Copper, I absolutely need that extra day this year. It could not have come at a better time if we got lucky. We're lucky that it's leap year. Jedi Bill says hello to Yvette and picked some beautiful flowers. Those are some actual beautiful flowers, Bill. Well done. And Jedi Bill says hello to Melted Copper. 47 Yorktown says hello, young sir. Thank you, 47. Yeah. It's speed here. And then it jumped. How far could it have jumped? Couldn't have jumped that much. There we go. Jedi Bill says hello to Melted Copper. Melted Copper says howdy to Jedi Bill. We also get 2 cicadas this year. Summer all long. We times 1,000. Well, he put in zeros, but I'm sure he means 1,000. The entire time. The traveler says, back to work I go, I will lurk. Take care, traveler, and enjoy. Words and pictures is hashtag Croners. No Kronos today. Maybe he's lurking. Jedi Bill says hello to 47. And we got John Araki's Kissing Dax super sticker. FKHC 2005 says Bird of Prey 5. Here is the world's funniest joke in German. When las das Mundstück geht in Slot mit hier, ja, balu, da, ka, ora, die flipperrocket, rapu. I have no idea what I just said. I thought I was kind of reading that joke with the Klingons in Star Trek 6 with Uhura and then looking through the dictionary, and then they all just started laughing, like, whatever. Whew. And everybody's looking at each other, and then they're just giving the signal to just laugh. Oh. Serious, a boot. Serious, a boot. What? Don't catch fleas or whatever the translation was. And for whatever reason, I could never find the goddamn translation again on any of the pirated copies I had over the years. I had to pay to get the translation again, and I forgot what it was, even though I now own those movies, not just in one space, but in both, on both Vudu and in Amazon. I ended up purchasing the same movies twice digitally. Plus, I've got I've got the DVD or the Blu-ray copies, physical media. But, when you can't walk, physical media is not so useful. Positive Candor says, why did Salty change his YouTube channel to Nerd Fights? Well, Positive, I would guess the short answer is you should ask Salty that. But the longer answer is he's kind of changed the format of his channel, and his main content now is Nerd Fights, which is him, Danny, Dark Knight, and Jason Price kind of arguing over sci-fi. 54.5 Access Radio says my dog has no nose. How does he smell? Awful. Not quite the funniest joke I've ever heard, but pretty close. FKHC says the 54.5 Access Radio. You got it. 47 Yorktown says howdy to Bill. Captain Fandom Nerd says hello, Captain. Professor Brainy Specs says greetings to Captain Fandom Nerd, who says hello back. John Araki says Mamo Pray 2024. Thank you, John. Jedi Bill says hello to Captain Fandom Nerd. Professor Brainy Specs says greetings to Mike Richards. Jedi Bill says hello to FKHC and the 54.5. Gorilla says world's funniest joke goes against YouTube guidelines. Probably so. Jedi Bill says hail to Positive Candor. FKHC says hail to Bill. And Fandom Nerd says hello to Bill as well. And Jedi Bill says hello to Gorilla's Random Thoughts and puts in a couple of gorillas and a space alien. Melted Copper says, I think there's also a solar eclipse this year's election too is serving up to be interesting. Yeah, we were looking up the eclipse. Also will be visible in New York State, and the totality, in fact, will be visible in western New York State, like around Buffalo and places like that. So, yeah, it'll be an interesting. I believe it's April, sometime next month or later. Almost, well, it's almost March, so soon, 2 months. Professor Brainy Speck says, horrible, it hurts, that hurts his ears. It hurts his ears. What could hurt your ears? Oh, German to Klingon. I got it. Dan Van says German to Klingon. Melted Copper is not sure how that popped twice. Glit, he's in the Matrix. Are things this year? Glit, he's in the Matrix. Are things this year, I guess. FKHC says Bird. It's from Monty Python, the very first episode. Taylor Swift greater than Disney, Star Wars, and MCU. Matt G is waving with that turquoise hand. Kapla, Taylor Swift. Dan Van says, I've never seen Monty Python. That's hard to believe, Dan. Hard to believe, Dan Van. Miss Londell's Ruby Movie says that Monty Python sketch about the world's deadliest joke is funnier. Jedi Bill is laughing. Professor Brainy Speck says pirated coffee. Pirated. Jedi Bill says hail to Dan Van and Mr. Londell. And hello to Taylor Swift. Gorilla says hey to Bill. Miss Londell says this is what? Change number 863 for salty. I think that's a little exaggerated. Sci-fi Sith Dan says kapla kapla. Sci-fi Sith Dan. Gorilla says it's 70 degrees today, but tomorrow night it's gonna be 10 degrees. You know, today is supposed to be like warm out, but for some reason, right now I feel freaking cold. I'm just really feeling pretty cold. Jedi Bill says hail to LDG at Free the Net. Professor Brainy Speck says Miss Lundell in the last year. What? Miss Lundell in the last year? I'm not sure. Pirated coffee? No. No. I must have missed something. Positive Candace says vote for Mamo Prey in 2024 to rule Karoga once and for all. You know, we just got our latest absentee ballots. Our latest absentee ballots. And to check it out, we opened it, and apparently it's the ballot for the December, not December, the ballot for the Republican election, the Republican primary election for president. So I don't know if there's a Democratic primary or not as well. And if there is, I assume there's just one person on that ballot. But the Republican, there's quite a few names. And I don't know. I'm surprised because only 2 names I even recognize. And I'll be honest, Nikki Haley is not getting my vote. As you know, there is a 3rd name I recognize, but he pulled out of the race, last I heard. So I am not. I really don't intend. I was never intending to vote on him in any case. which is a shame because in previous years he would have been there, but he kind of ruined himself for me these last couple of years. So sorry, Chris Christie. That probably caused the stream to become a politics stream now. Positive Candor says it's very cold in space. Virgo Pray 5. You're right. You're right. You and Khan are correct. It is very cold in space. And it's also a great place to get revenge, because revenge is a dish best served cold, and it's very cold in space. It's also very cold in Bayside, New York right now, or at least in my house. It feels cold.
It's not warm.
It's not warm out, says Mama Pray. Mama Pray, if you want to put the heat up a degree, feel free, because I can't do it at the moment. FKHC says, don't blame me. I voted for Kodos. LDG says, sorry I'm late. Kapla LDG. Miss Lundell says, vote Trump. Sci-Fi Sit Down says, hello there to LDG. You know, over the weekend, I had a friend come over. I haven't seen him for a long time. I was happy to see he is still wearing his MAGA red Trump hat with the flag and all. And more than that, I was happy that Cecil Prey didn't kill him on sight. Melted Copper says it's still sad that two 80-year-olds are the president's choices. At least left and right agree retiring is a joke. Well, I do agree that I'd rather an older person be elected than a young person with no experience, or worse, that's an idiot. You know, an idiot would be an upgrade. But, you know, just to show how little, even young people, how little respect we have for young people, or we just know for a fact that young people are not ready to take over as president of the United States and jobs of that nature that require that level thinking, that we won't even consider it. Yes, Mama. Correct. Okay.
So if your phone starts beeping,
it's fine.
put it to ring on.
Sure.
Okay.
Josh Reed, has anyone seen this Borderlands movie coming out? I have not. Jedi Bills is my question. Why would Salty Trekker be standing in a line for a gender reassignment? Oh, hey, they thought he was in for the Powerballs. He thought he was in for the Powerballs. Wah, 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 wah. Sorry, Bill. I don't think that counts as the world's funniest joke. Josh says, should we just throw away our vote by writing in Bird's name come November? I mean, it's not really throwing it away. Wouldn't it be the first time somebody, maybe it would. But still, it's worth a shot. Melted Conver says, howdy, Satan. Not too late to become a Jedi. Positive Candace says, who is Mamo Praise? favorite president of all time? Good question. She says it is a good question. She's thinking now. We'll let her. Give her some time to think of it. Of all time, and the other question is of all time or in her lifetime. I'm assuming he meant in your lifetime, but if you have a different answer for both.
Unfortunately, I don't have an answer for either.
You don't have an answer for either, but you can think of one. I mean,
Try to think of one.
try to think of one. Birch Tree Publishing says City on the Edge of Forever. Yes, indeed. Formerly Shaft Infinity. Oh, she's got the answer. It's Donald Trump, and she's not joking. She's not joking. She's legit. Donald Trump was the best president of her lifetime. And that goes up against all of them because of his honesty.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. There's a positive. Tander asked a question, got an answer. I would be hard pressed to disagree.
Because I don't like politicians, and he was not a politician.
Because she doesn't like politicians, and he was not a politician.
And like him.
And she didn't like him before he ran. Before he became. She was not a particular Trump fan.
I didn't watch his.
She didn't watch his TV show. Yeah, she never watched. What was that show? Was it? Yeah, he fired people. It was what was it called? I keep confusing it though. It wasn't Deal or No Deal. That was the game show. The Apprentice. The Apprentice, yeah. I never watched The Apprentice. Mama probably never watched The Apprentice. I knew of The Apprentice, but I didn't give a shit. It really didn't mean anything to me. Yeah. So Birch Tree Publishing is here, formerly Captain Infinity. Applaw. Sci-fi sit-downs as melted copper. I prefer to have emotions that draw from the Sith and do not be emotionless machine Jedi. Yes, it is melted copper. Captain Fandom Nerd says hello to Sci-Fi sit-down. Miss Lundell's Ruby Movies says 2 80-year-olds are running because Democrats shut everyone else down in their party, and Nikki Haley is just pathetic. Tell us how you really feel, Mr. Lundell. Mama Bray has a question. Since the dawn of time, I have awaited a question.
No.
Oh, no. Oh, a question to do with the ballot, but not. Yes, the Republican primary.
Okay. There was Trump's name.
There was Trump, Haley. Two names I didn't recognize, and Chris Christie.
Okay.
Yeah. If Trump was removed. If tomorrow he said he's not running on that ballot. Who would I vote for? I guess it would be Nikki Haley at that point. She's the only one. Who, Chris Christie?
Yeah.
But he's already said he's out.
Right.
He had already, I don't know, but he said he's out. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure that it is my understanding that it is down to just Trump and Haley. I don't know that there's anyone else out there, officially or unofficially, in the race.
Whoever wants the job, anyway.
I'm afraid says whoever wants the job is nuts anyway. Melted Copper says, yes, the political state is more of a comedy. Like the guy who pulled a 4 alarm and people seriously defended that, like in a non-sarcastic way. Sci-fi sit dance is Berto Prey 5, to quote the famous comedian and thinker George Carlin. This is the best we got, and it's not going to get any better. Melted Copper says it's Teddy Roosevelt. Best president, the man was a beast. LDG at Free the Net says, holy crap. Oh, crap by a different name is still crap. Birch Tree Publishing says, hail the Jedi Bill. Melted Copper says, no crap is sometimes poop or shit too. Positive Gander was reminding me of The Apprentice, as was Captain Fandom Nerd. Sci-Fi Sit-San says, hello there to Birch Tree Publishing. Dan Benz is in the UK. We had Deal or No Deal and still have The Apprentice, but not the same host. In the US, Deal or No Deal has evolved into Deal or No Deal Island. I have no idea how that happened. And Dan Benz has never got into Deal or No Deal. It's just people opening boxes. Yes, it's literally just choose a box. Does it have money in it? Yay! Or no. Or for some reason you can barter. You can barter your way up or down, depending on if you think how much it could possibly be. How much could possibly be in the box? It could be worth X money, it could be worth 2X money, and you just wait to hear the bank offer you. And it's always going to offer you the set amount. There's only so much money that it's worth, potentially, and they use the statistics. So they always give you an amount that, makes sense to offer. If there's a 1 in 10 chance that, you could have $100,000 in the box, well, that's basically just, basically you have a chance of 10,000, excuse me, a 1 in 10 chance of it being 100,000 and a 9 in 10 chance of it being 10,000. Well, then they're going to offer you probably 20,000. You get double what you would probably get. But certainly not going to offer you, 100,000, because chances are 9 out of 10 chances you won't get 100,000. So, it doesn't take a whole island of resources to figure out what the biggest deal is. Anyway, forget that. Let us return to the scene of the crime of last week. We were at Deer Box, and well, we could go back. We'll go back to the holidays in a minute. But Dear Bob, what is the funniest joke you ever heard? So I gave some serious thought on this. Um, uh, and let's see. Dan Benz has never got into Deal or No Deal. Just people opening boxes. That's true. Mike Richards says, I Got a Rock. Charlie Brown. No. Okay. So the funniest joke I ever heard. Well, I thought about it for a minute. Like after the stream ended yesterday, I was thinking it was going to take quite a while to figure it out. But I thought about it for a minute, and literally I realized that no, I am pretty sure I know the funniest joke. It was actually Sissel Prey told it to me, and to this day, I still think about it, and I still crack up when I go to it. And it's the thing is, it's a lightweight joke. It's an easy joke. It's not hard to remember. It's not hard to tell, and it still cracks people up. Even today or yesterday, my friend came by. I told him it, and at first people don't get it, but then once they get it, it's like, oh yeah, now they can't not get it, and eventually they'll repeat it enough, they'll start cracking up. Okay, so what do you call here it is, and it's best that you're in front of the person when you ask them, and just be ready to give the answer, because if you do it correctly and you don't end up spitting on anybody, okay, there is a little danger of people getting wet, like if you were at SeaWorld or something, and they give the first couple of people, the first couple of rows close to the tank, they give them this plastic sheet they can pull over themselves to block the wave from SeaWorld, which, I guess that's back when they had orcas. Now SeaWorld, for some reason, you're not allowed to have orcas at SeaWorld, which is a shame because that experience of being a child and seeing an extreme amount of water headed for you, and you've got to like put up shields, and you do, but even with the shields up, you got your eyes are closed, and you're like, ah, shit, this is gonna hurt, and it does, and it just comes in. There's nothing you can do but accept it. Anyway, so the funniest question as told by Cicero Frey, is, what do you call a fish with no eyes? What do you call a fish with no eye? I hope that comes through on the microphone. That's a fish with no eye. FSH, a fish with no eye. FSH, just spelt out, and you're trying to say it. Well, I'm going to tell the other one too. Okay, so that is the funniest joke that I could think of myself. But then Cicero Prey, when I asked her, I said, Cicero Prey, what's the funniest joke? I explained what was going on. And so she, as soon as I said it, she said, and yeah, I cracked up. I said, yeah, okay. But then she reminded me. She's like, that is funny. She's like, but to her, there was a funnier joke. And I remembered her telling me the funnier joke. And I agreed the other joke was funnier, but I felt, me personally, I felt too bad to tell that joke because well, to be honest, you guys know about my particular feelings on my own looks, my own good looks or lack thereof. And I never felt comfortable telling this joke because I wouldn't want anybody to think I was thinking of them, but in all honesty, I'm thinking of myself. But, oh, that wasn't the joke either, Mummy? What other joke? What's the other joke? The dog and cat joke. Dogs and cats living together?
There were 40 dogs.
Oh, okay. So Mama Frey likes this joke. There were 40 dogs and 38 cats. How many didn't? There were 40 dogs and 38 cats. How many didn't? The splash zone. Yes, Stanley. That was it. The splash zone. Stanley says, I like Seinfeld's favorite Jew jokes. Stanley says, two Jews are walking down the street. One says to the other, how's business? The other guy says, great. Stanley says, or Mitch Hedberg. Melted Copper says, I always liked Norm Macdonald. Oh, he was a great comedian. Stanley says, today someone asked me if I would like a frozen banana. I said no, but I'd like a regular banana later. So yes. Dan Van says, I hope the person who asked the question about the joke didn't need the answer really quickly. That's true. I hope not either. Stanley says, nah, their fins get all floppy. It's sad. And Stanley says, uffs. Yes, uffs. Professor Brainyspec says, so a fish only has one eye. Yes. Travelers is lame joke. Oh no. Well, here's the joke that Sissofrey says is the funniest joke, and I agree it's funnier. I cracked up, but then I cried. Okay. Stanley says the funniest joke in the world had to be quarantined. Anyone who read it would die laughing. Sean Carter says, wasn't there a Monty Python skit about this where they won World War II with the world's funniest joke? Sean Carter says, just popped in case you mentioned it already. Kapla, Sean Carter. Birch Tree Publishing says, the funniest joke in the world is easily the concept of malleable timelines. I don't know about that, Birch Tree Publishing. In fact, I would say that that's quite the opposite of funny these days. Melted Copper says, I think whales are a clear sign of God's weird humor. A fish that has to keep coming up for air. Oh, Melted Copper, you're angering the gods when you call whale a fish. No. Gillian is going to be from Star Trek 4. She's going to get out of her pickup truck and school you on the side of the road. She's going to be, whales aren't fish. Once the blue whale, virtually gone. Whales are mammals like you or me, needing milk from their young, needing milk from their mothers to nurse their young. Melted copper, yeah. It's not a fish. And needing oxygen to breathe. And there is Birch Tree Publishing says whales aren't fish, they're mammals. Stanley says, well, Mama Frey gave you that face. Doesn't that make her the best comedian? Well, Mama Frey gave you that face. Doesn't that make her the best comedian?
Why did you say that? Wasn't me.
I don't know what I said that you didn't pay attention to. I don't know that I was making fun of my face. Melted Copper says, you're calm, Captain Cherry Tree. Birch Tree says, as a customer, as a cucumber. Stanley says, come on, those are both gold. See, a Jew would never say business is great. I get it. They'd always complain about something. Well, it sounds a lot like me. Stanley says, Sean Carter, yes, that's the skit I was talking about, lol. Birch Tree Publishing says, I like my sugar with coffee and cream. I get it. And Sean Carter says it gives a thumb up to Stanley. It's a great skit. Mr. Londell's Groovy Movies says, actually, the funniest joke in the world is convincing all these mush-brain clowns that the world is flat. Melted Copper says, you got it going full stream. Okay, well, here's what we are doing. The actual now, funniest joke. As told by Sissofrey, was, and I'm taking some liberties with it, but Okay. So you're at a supermarket. There's it's the olden days, so there's actually people checking you out at the supermarket. You go up, you're buying things, and they're you got to pay for it, and they're the what is that? What was that job? The person who checks you out, who scans the cashier. The cashier is scanning your items, and like, okay, so somebody's there, and they they got a bag of grapes, um, a couple of apples, uh, a pound of pasta, uh, a pack of cheese, um, some a tub of butter, just basic staples, uh, a Folgers coffee, a couple of name brand things, a bag of Oreos, pack of Oreos, uh, and a small thing of apple juice. Okay, they check out, and the cashier looks at the items, looks at the buyer, and says, "I bet you're married." And he says, "You're right, I am married." And cashier, "Okay," and they go on. And then the next person comes, and they have an onion. They have uh, 2 packs of cheese. Uh, they have apples, but instead of red apple, they have green apples. Um, they have uh, um, Wonder Bread. They have instead of butter, they've got margarine, um, and they also have a cream cheese and a a box of cereal, and Cheerios. Cheerios. I don't think it really matters, but the the honey nut for the sake of this story, the honey nut Cheerios. And so the cashier looks at the items, uh, looks at the person, and says, "Oh, I bet you're single, aren't you?" And the person's like, "You're right, I am single." And so the cashier, okay. And so he goes on to start doing the next person. So wait, the person's like, wait, how did you know I was single? Uh, and the cashier says, well, because you're ugly. It's cracking me. I cracking up even. Yeah. Mama Frey says it's a terrible joke, but I think it's hilarious. Uh, um, Melted Copper says you got it going full screen. Is that, I mean, 23 people were watching as I said that joke, and nobody is commenting. That's scary. It's not a horrible joke. It's fucking hilarious. It's hilarious. How do you know that you're single? Because you're fucking ugly. I'm sorry. I think it's hilarious. So that is the funniest joke I ever heard.
Who's been holding up the damn elevator?
Joe Biden donated $1.49 and said, I have the funniest joke. What happens when a dog bites a Secret Service agent? Wait, I forgot. What day is today? Hail Caroga. Now that's not a joke, Mr. Biden. Stop making the Secret Service agents get attacked by your dog, please. Mike Richards, as well, Sassy, thinks it's a funny joke. The Traveler and Hakeem are not particularly interested, don't particularly like that stream, that joke. Melted Copper says that's weirdly mean-spirited for Bird. The Traveler says, I think Bird is saying I'm ugly. No, I'm not saying you're ugly, Traveler. I'm saying I'm ugly. I'm saying that's why I never think of telling that joke again. But I do think it's a funny joke. Melted Copper says, ugly is a tad harsh. You're just not remotely attractive. I get that. I do. Dan Van says, is he going to look at the rest of the Dear Bops or just this one? I'm going to do the rest of the Dear Bops now, Dan Van. I'm going to do the rest of the Dear Bops now. But that was the one I was thinking of because I told everybody I was going to think about it. Okay. So continuing on with the funniest joke I've ever heard. What is your favorite public holiday? I mean, I feel like Christmas is just being easy. But there's also the fact that I found myself, quite depressed on many a Christmas night. So as a kid, sure, Christmas was easily my favorite holiday. And even as a teenager, it was a great time to be with family. But as time went on, Christmas got less and less exciting, and later in life, later in life, before I got sick, it was downright depressing, even though it shouldn't have been. But it was. And now it's not Christmas. I'd say, in all honesty, Flag Day. Flag Day. Due to The Simpsons, it's the last chance I have to find true love is on Flag Day. Professor Brainy Specs is Bird of Prey 5. Hey, you might have forgotten the last minute, but you should finish the rest of the Dear Bops. I'm about to. I'm about to. Melted copies of The Bird Was into Hanson. These would be called bops. Hakeem says Yom Kippur was my favorite. I would get off school on that date. Roll Flag Day, says JP's. Okay, Sheldon Cooper. Hey, I would. Sheldon got Sheldon. I got no complaints over where Sheldon ended. Dear Bob, out of all the people that come to check your medical needs, is the dentist the worst one? No, the dentist, first, there's actually two possible dentists, and they are both charming. One is charming, the other is very, very good at their job, and in both cases, I'm quite happy with the dentist. And don't get me wrong, I've had teeth pulled, I've had all types of dental stuff done at work, dental work done at home, and knock wood. No, the dentists are not the worst. The worst, the very worst thing that I was awake for. Well, okay. The very worst thing that I was awake for in the last 5 years, okay, was them putting in a catheter to get a urine sample. That was the most unpleasant thing. I was in the emergency room. That was by far the most unpleasant thing. Secondly, close unpleasant was being transferred from the gurney to the CAT scan unit because they use this transfer board. It's quite hard, quite slippery, but quite hard. And some people understand when I tell them that I have a stage 4 sacrum bed sore, and they're very good and get me over very quickly. And I don't feel a thing. But about 50% of the time, you have an idiot who doesn't understand what you're telling, and they literally leave you with this thing bearing into the bed sore, and I see stars, and it is super painful. Luckily, it doesn't last long, hopefully, but just the thought of what's about to happen can make me go nuts. And yeah, it is not good. So that is the other problem. Different type of pain than a catheter, but severe pain nevertheless. Dear Bob, go sports, yay or nay? Did you family enjoy the Super Bowl? Mostly it's nay. We're not really a sports family. I had the Super Bowl playing. I was at Jedi Bill's stream to watch it. But the only thing was because it was the Super Bowl. I had memories, years ago, I was way more into sports than I am now. JP says, our dentists are horrible. Actually, my dentist's not so bad. There was no home colonoscopy, JP's. Oh my, yeah, not the pee straw. That was it. Melted Copper says, some people truly enjoy the home colonoscopy. I have not had a home colonoscopy or any colonoscopy yet. Sean Carter says, my penis just shrank into my body after hearing that. Well, I don't know what to tell you, but yeah, it's not good. JP says, oh, the pain is long enough to still be horrible. Sean Carter says, hi to Sci-Fi. Seth Dan says, hello there to Cody Guy. Applaud to Cody Guy. Oh, there's Cody Guy up there. Applaud, Cody. Oh, the lovely Sherry is here. Hello to the lovely Sherry. Um, Mike Richards says, greetings to Sci-Fi Sith Dan. Sci-Fi Sith Dan says hello to JP's. JP says hi. DJ Plain Ice is here, says wee. And Cody Guy says hey to Sci-Fi Sith Dan. Okay. Dear Bob, so for Lent, I gave up calling my boss an asshole, and it is going good and haven't broken it. Good thing I never said anything about calling him a limp dick mother effer. Yep. I had a feeling that was coming. Dear Bob, what is your opinion on country music? Okay, honestly, I feel like I should like country music, but, and there are country music songs that at least I think I consider them country music, like the Dukes of Hazzard theme song. I mean, that's country music, right? Or what is it? God bless Texas, little Texas. God bless Texas with his own hand. Blah blah. That I love that song. The Simpsons parody songs that are country music, I love those too. Like all the songs where Homer was Larlene's manager. Those were great songs. Like I had them on CD. But actual country music, yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Some I like, some not so much. Melted Cabo says they play both kinds of music, country and Western. Oh, right. So, okay. I guess I'm not 100% sure which is country, which is Western. JP says the Dukes of Hazzard song is good old boys music. Now that's a third. Sean Carter says Dukes of Hazzard, Jerry Reed. You don't get much more country than that. Okay, so then that's not true. What's your opinion on gangster rap? So surprisingly, I kind of had a short-lived infatuation with with gangster rap, with NWA, um, F the Police, um, and some titles I can't even say, lyrics I can't even sing anymore, but I did. I used to. Yeah. I prefer Ice Cube to Ice Tea. I'll tell you that much. Dear Bop, I've never had a meatball sub before. Do you recommend them? Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. I had to take a sip. Might have to take another sip. Meatball sub is delicious. It depends on the place, obviously. You want to have a place where you enjoy the meatballs. And for me, particularly, I don't enjoy a whole lot of tomato sauce. So when I get a meatball sub, I try to get one where I can get it without extra tomato sauce. But it's often hard to do. But yeah, you should definitely try one. Dear Bob, in your current medical state, do you wish you could have pets, but you can't? Well, no, I already have pets. I have Sassy. And truth be told, she is more than enough pet. In fact, unfortunately, she might be too much pet, but we love her and we've got her, and that's what it is. However, if or when Sassy, well, we don't want to think about it, but we did think about it enough to say that we don't think we're going to do more. Sassy is our third, fourth beagle, depending how you count, and fourth beagle in a row, and well, some were overlapping. So, like the last Wayoon in Deep Space Nine, this Sassy will probably be the last of her name, last of her kind. Till nephew of prey decides he wants a beagle one day. But no, being in my current medical state, I haven't wanted any particular animals that I cannot have. Hakeem says Subway had a good meatball sub. I thought, I didn't think of Subway. I thought you meant like a true New York pizza restaurant. Dan Ben says gangster rap is popular in New York, right? I don't think so, Dan Ben. I wouldn't say it's particularly popular. JP says meatball sub is only good with fresh mozzarella. Melted Copper says that had to East Coast West Coast feud. So J.E. clearly was on the side of the Biggie Small. DJ Play Nice and Sean Carter. The Duke's theme was Waylon Jennings, right? Yes, Waylon Jennings. Jerry Reed was Smokey and the Bandits, Eastbound and Down. Cinnabon Bunny says Berto Bray promised us 4 years ago he would get an alpaca. Sisso Frey promised. DJ Play Nice is yeah, okay. Pointing to Cinnabon. Did I promise you 4 years ago I'd get an alpaca? I don't believe I did. Mama Frey didn't hear it. Dear Bob, I have a bath or shower once every morning. Is this correct? What is the point of some people have a second one in the evening? It is correct to have a bath or shower once a day or have one at night or twice a day, sure. It depends on how dirty you get, how how nasty you feel. Where were you? What were you doing? Especially post COVID these days. It can never be too clean. It doesn't hurt. We are blessed in the United States. We are blessed. I don't know. You may be blessed wherever you are too. With water, we have enough water that it's generally not a problem to take 2 showers a day. Now I know there are people out there who want us to stop using water to the point that we shower less than once a day, once a week. And, you might be able to get away with showering once a week. Certainly, for the majority of time on this planet, human beings didn't bathe every day. It's a relatively new concept, daily bathing. But fuck that. Don't go back. I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. As for why some people want to have a second one a day, because they feel nasty. They feel dirty. And frankly, some people spend like going into the shower because they've got that massage head on the shower, right? Because they think, oh, right, I'm gonna use this to give myself a back massage. You can't fucking hold that thing behind your back. And nobody's using it to give themselves a back massage. You know where it is. You know where it's going when it's doing its pressure and it's doing its we all know where it is. Okay? It's fine. Enjoy it. Get your few minutes of happiness, and then it all washes away. You don't need a sock. You don't need anything. Everybody knows. Everybody in your house knows what's going on when you put the shower on. on vibrate. That's why people take 2 showers a day. Now, if the shower doesn't have a vibration function, it's just water comes out the ceiling, you'd be surprised how often people don't take long showers anymore. JP says it was a llama, not an alpaca. JP says, oh my God, I thought he was going to say post-coitus. Melted Coffee says, Subway needs to invest more into drive-up windows, making me get out of my car, answering 10 questions. That's like work and struggle. Daniel's Hot Topic says, hello, bird. Kapla, Daniel. JP says, it depends on how many poops I have in the day. Gorilla's Random Thoughts says, I only shower at night because of the dirty job. Cinnabon Bunny says, I'm sorry. It was 5 years ago. Uh-oh. He's got a link. He's got a link. JP says, Bird is exposing the truth today. Mike Richards says, save Ferris. Hakeem says, I always wash up 2 to 4 times a day. I'm going to use as much water as I can. Melted Kava says, that once a week thing is probably some loony California idea. JP says, Lowell, the water comes out the ceiling, damn it. Bird, you're killing me. Melted Kava says, now sometimes hot bubble baths are just fun and nice. I could grow gills. We used to not argue, but my friend group used to debate whether washing in the evening was better or washing in the morning was better. Because if you washed in the evening, you went to bed and you were clean. So presumably your bed was cleaner and but I preferred washing in the morning because I knew I'd be clean, very clean from that moment on. And so there were problems when certain people wanted to bunk with other people, but if those people were night washers or morning wash, it was just a big to do. Dear Bob, do you like comedy parodies or spoofs of sci-fi shows or films that you like? I generally do like the comedy parodies. I mean, obviously, Galaxy Quest is amazing. As a kid, I really liked the parody movies. Galaxy Quest, Spaceballs, for sci-fi. I'm not sure what other parodies for sci-fi I can think of offhand. But parodies of other movies, hell yeah, I like, Hot Shots Part 2, not Airport, Airplane. I mean, Airplane is like the original parody movie, at least as far as I can think of. The Naked Gun movies, those are hilarious. Robin Hood Men in Tights. I know I know some people really don't like that movie, but I think it's fucking hilarious. All of Futurama, kind of a parody. Dear Bob, when is your birthday? What is your favorite type of cake to have? November 13th, chocolate fudge cake, but with yellow cake, chocolate fudge topping. Chocolate fudge topping, but golden cake. Specifically, Entenmann's golden fudge cake. National Lampoons, yes. National Lampoon, great movies. Great movies. Melted Copper, I read that. Melted Copper says now sometimes hot bubble baths are just, I read that. Thomas Bott says, I've been around you people for 5 years. Dear God, how am I not completely insane? I can't answer that, Thomas. JV says, bubble baths are for women and sitting in your own filth water is gross. Mike Richards says, Thomas Botts, bad news, Bunky. Dan Van says, I like Star Wars. I do not like Spaceballs. JP says, National Lampoon. Dan Van says, Stargate, SG-1, the 200th episode. They did pretty good. They did a parody of several things. Yes, they did. Also, I believe their 100th episode was also a parody. Melted Copper says, the era of reboot. Mel Brooks should finally make Spaceballs 2 a quest for more money. There's more space bucks. But considering how bad he screwed up History of the World Part 2, I have no thought that he could do Spaceballs 2. Hakeem says Spaceballs greater than Star Wars. These days it might be. JP's says Men in Tights was just horrible. How can you say that, JP's? It was the introduction to Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle was in Men in Tights. Call a locksmith. Call a locksmith. That she was hot. And then that woman. Oh my God. It's Diana. You want me to get it? Hello? You're on live with Birdo Prey 5. I can hear you. I can hear you. Can you? I told your joke. Okay, I hung up. I hung up. Okay. We are manly men in tights. We roam around the forest looking for fights. We are men in tights. Melted Comets' early 2000s parody movies did start getting really bad. Really, really bad. There certainly was no airplane or Naked Guns. Dan Ben says, I don't like anything to do with Robin Hood. Boring. Miss Londell's groovy movies says, is there any way we can get a holiday named Piss Off? Oh, Piss Off a Flat Earther Day. JP's is Lowell, isn't that every day? JP says Dave Chappelle wasn't half-baked. Did you say Abe Lincoln? No, I said, hey, Blinken. Thomas Potts says, don't judge Bird for liking men in tights. Thank you, Thomas. Melted Copper says, I like men in tights. Oh, that's a movie too? Dan Ben says, is there a difference between a parody and a spoof? I am not aware. I'm not aware of the difference between a parody and a spoof. I suppose there might be. Dear Bob, my family has started doing game night once a week. Can you recommend any activities we could do? Well, I'm a big fan of Jenga, Risk, and Uno. Family game night. Risk, Uno, Jenga. Obviously, there's always Monopoly, but it's a hard call. A hard call. Families to complete a Monopoly game. Dear Bob, who do you think is the worst female actress from Star Trek? The worst female from Star Trek. I mean, the funny thing is that I want to say that compared to the worst male actress, there is no comparison. The worst male actress is much, much worse than the worst female actress. And I would put the worst female actress as Kess. That said, I would rather watch Kess any day of the week and twice on Sundays than I'd want to see the man-child Will Wheaton's Wesley Crusher as the worst male actor on Star Trek. Dear Bob, bye bye birdie. Okay. Dear Bob, what does it mean when someone says you're the man? Generally, it means to say that you're the one in charge. You're the man. You're cool. You're the top guy. You're the head honcho. You've got my respect, brother. That's what it means. These days, it probably means that you're the one who has to pay the bill, accept all the responsibility, and get nothing, expect nothing, and get nothing. JP is saying naked twister. Melted Copper is saying family naked twister for family game night. Dan Ben says Birdo Prairie 5 can't play twister. You know what, Dan Ben? That is absolutely true. It was true before I got sick, and it's still true now. Melted Copper says naked leapfrog is also fun, but for some reason, people struggle jumping over for some reason. JP's no, he would sit here and spin the spinner. Positive Candor also came up with Jennifer Lean as Kess for the worst actress in Star Trek. Although Hakeem says Tilly, No, I still have I still have a a spot. I still have a spot for Tilly. Okay. Dan Ben says Kess, and then Dan Ben says Michael Burnham. Oh, Dan Ben, Michael Burnham isn't in Star Trek. Kess was. Kess was in Star Trek. Michael Burnham is not in Star Trek. If Michael Burnham is an option, then Michael Burnham. But no. Dan Ben says Twister, you need to play, and someone who doesn't play but spins the wheel. Dear Bob, what does it mean when someone says get real? It means you're not thinking straight. You need to kind of reboot your brain and get back to reality. You're obviously you're thinking of something that's so impossible, it's not possibly going to happen. Dear Bob, sleep breathing. And a link of shorts. Okay. Dear Bob, I know you don't care about that, but what is your opinion on a general person changing what they do and doing something completely different? I find it annoying when I find a YouTube channel that does videos on what I like, and then in one of their new videos, they say they're going to change what they do. I didn't follow them for this new thing I have no interest in. Well, there's something very easy you can do. You can unfollow them. You can unsubscribe. It's not really a problem. Beyonce becomes first Black woman to top Billboard country chart. Okay. I honestly, is that Beyonce? I have no idea. She doesn't look that dark to me, but I also have no idea what that has to do with the question. I mean, is Beyonce changing her style of music? It seems like something she should be able to do. If you don't like it, then don't buy her music anymore. Dear Bob, this Star Trek actor or person died, and I have no idea who they are. Do you know who they are? Okay, I prefer not to get links, but let's check it. Well, they have Star Trek there. It's with profound sadness that we share news of Kenneth Mitchell's passing. His vibrant energy and incredible spirit touched the lives of many of us. Well, videos of him crowd surfing at the Trek cruise were such a joy. Kenneth Mitchell. I'm sure we can find out who he was. Various characters in Star Trek Discovery. So he was an actor in Star Trek Discovery. He played various people. Canadian actor whose continued work he was on Jericho, Star Trek Discovery. He was a Canadian actor known for his role as Eric Green in CBS television's Jericho, and for portraying various characters in Star Trek Discovery. Oh my God, was he one of the mayors in Jericho? There you go. 49 years old. It's a shame. Oh, even after 2018 diagnosis of ALS has died. I wonder if he's the guy in the wheelchair. Oh my God, he might have been the wheelchair guy. He may have been the wheelchair guy in Discovery.
Yeah. Right. Right. So.
Wow. Um, by the year following his diagnosis, he was using a wheelchair. In Star Trek Discovery, he portrayed Orleo, a scientist who uses a hovercraft wheelchair. So the hovercraft wheelchair guy, that's who he was in Star Trek Discovery. That was the scientist. Wasn't he? He was the one who worked for the green woman. He worked for the Orion woman. Dear Bob, can you give your opinions on breakfast? Do you think it's important to eat breakfast? Or do you sometimes not have it? What do you eat for breakfast? I think I should be eating, and think I should be eating for breakfast. Okay. Well, I love breakfast. I think breakfast is the best meal of the day. I think I don't think everybody should eat it. I think most people probably should. I like eggs, so I always have some type of eggs for breakfast. Usually, I mean, if I'm getting from out, it's egg and cheese on some type of like, when I could eat a lot, I'd get bacon, egg, and cheese on a bagel, or something like that. Now it's usually just egg and cheese on a muffin, or the problem is biscuits have way too much salt. But if I could eat salt, it would be on a biscuit, or a bagel. These days, I just like it on a muffin, egg and cheese, or I even have egg salad on an English muffin these days, because it's quick. It's quick and easy. I think most people should eat it, but the thing is, if you don't have a lot of food, then you should probably not eat breakfast, because eating breakfast gets your system going, and frankly, it makes you hungrier. It makes you hungry throughout the day. If you don't have food, don't eat breakfast. It'll just make you too hungry. Thomas Spot says Tilly has a spot in Bird's heart. It's true. Dan Ben says, Twister, you need people to play and someone who doesn't play but spins the wheel. JP says, I think AI sent all these questions in. Yeah, it's weird. Melted Cobb says, do people on the holodeck ever ask people to get real? It's a good question. Dan Ben says, I've seen the photo. I didn't recognize it was Beyonce at first. Melted Cobb says, Michael Jackson and Sammy Sosa both turned into white people. When will white people start turning black? The world needs balance. Dan Ben says, well, it's a holodeck program that doesn't feel real. You might say get real. Dan Ben says, loads of media outlets have been posting about him with reference on Star Trek, but they don't say what actually he did on there. Hakeem remembers him on Jericho, from Jericho. JP says, oh no, I'm 49 now. Bit of a pricey actor, says Gorilla. Hakeem says, I think he was the one that was in a wheelchair. Miss Lundell says he had ALS. Thomas says, no, he played a Klingon and a few other roles. Who was the other wheelchair guy? The hover wheelchair, not the wheelchair, not the Timmy wheelchair, the hover wheelchair. Melted Copper says, if they do Star Trek Legacy, then Rock Dwayne Johnson can return for his 7 of 9 rematch. Mike Richards says, Timmy. You mean Osira? Osira, yes. Osira, thank you, positive. Melted Copper says, I eat my eggs like a snake, sunny side up and gooey. Melted Copper says, there's not enough errors to make them AI. He also played a Klingon named Cole and his father, but he was walking. John Araki says, Wendy's introducing surge pricing. Even in the bathroom, toilet paper costs more if you get diarrhea. Timmy. Do you believe mental health is a real issue, are real, or do you doubt it? Oh no. Mental health is a very real thing. I have come to realize the hard way. There was a time in my life I thought it was all bullshit. Nope. It's legit. Dear Bob, what birthday did you enjoy the most? And what is the next one you look forward to? Which one did I enjoy the most? It was probably my 30th. I had, we celebrated it in Las Vegas a little early, but I had my friends and my family with me. It was a really great time. And it was the last good birthday I had before I got sick. So,
It was a very good birthday.
Mama Price said it was a very good birthday. Unfortunately, we swore in, we didn't swear in. Unfortunately, President Obama got elected while I was in Las Vegas. We didn't know then what we were in for. We had such high hopes. High hopes. As to the next one you look forward to, at my age and physical condition, just look forward to the next one. Dear Bob, do you have any sensory issues with thunder or fireworks or other types of loud noises? And how would you comfort someone who had these issues? Yes, I mean, you guys know, I think you should know, if you haven't seen the the video where I jumped because of the lightning strike. I've been up front. I growing up, I very much had trouble with loud noises, with loud music. Um, as a kid, I couldn't stand loud noises or loud music. I nephew O'Prey doesn't like loud noises and loud music either. Um, how would I comfort people? I would just explain to them that best you can, loud noises happen. And, if it's a kid, give them earphones or to muffle the noise. That's what I used to do. Sorry, I have to take a drink. You're an adult, just be ready. Loud noises can happen, and it's okay. You might jump. If you do, that's okay. Just be ready to compose yourself and move on with your life. It's okay if you yell or scream or jump. It's okay. It's okay. Dear Bob, when there is an issue of someone being afraid of a spider and they're telling someone to get rid of it for them, what do you think should be done? One, they should be calm down and get rid of the spider for them. Remember, it gives the spider time to move or lay eggs. Or two, get rid of it instantly without asking them to calm down. Once they get rid of it, they automatically calm down. Okay, I can see where you're going here, but honestly, the answer is one. Okay, and the spider, if the spider is within a second or 2 seconds of laying eggs or moving, that's just bad luck. Okay. I'll tell you, there is a feeling inside you. I am deathly afraid of bugs. Okay. If I was driving myself and a spider jumped down and started crawling up my leg, I would probably crash the car and die. I would take out a school bus. I'd be out of it. I'd be like, this guy crashed head on into a school bus, killed 50 kids because he was running from a spider. And I would, if I wasn't killed myself, I would be killed by the community. But funny thing should happen. The same spider in the same car, but instead of me being alone in the passenger seat, I now have a date, an honest to God, attractive woman in the seat in my car. And this happened. This ugly, scary looking spider fucking jumped down onto the dashboard of my QX56. And instead of jumping the fuck out of a moving vehicle, which I would have done 9 times out of 10, and I have friends that have confirmed this. There are friends who I have left to die as I jumped out of my own Jeep because something was going wrong. And my natural instinct is to jump out. And I've done it. I've jumped out of a moving vehicle. Granted, it wasn't moving so fast, but it was moving. And I was like, bye. I felt so bad for them, but what was I going to do? Gotta watch out for yourself. Anyway, in that moment, when that spider jumped down and there was a attractive woman next to me, instead of me jumping out of the car, I looked at it, I looked at her, and I said, "Do you mind if I kill this spider?" She said, "I don't mind." And my hand came down, and using the might of my own hand, I squished it. Where did that come from? That was my hand. I could not believe it. I could not believe it. So what I'm saying is, get a girlfriend, and you'll probably not worry about spiders so much. And then, even if you can't keep the girlfriend, you'll know you can best the spider. Now, that said, once she was gone, I back to was jumping. I went back to jumping out the car.
What about the bee?
Oh, bees are worse than spiders. Oh, the bee in Florida. And it was a yeah. It was a convertible. That the top was down. The bee was in the car. John Aragi says Wendy's is introducing. Oh, I read that. John Aragi says pizza, pizza. Wendy's spicy is indeed awesome. Oh, Wendy's spicy chicken. That is good. Huh? JP says, Lowell, the questions are being used to gather your personal information so they can become you and steal your identity. John Araki says, you can't have them add cheese, and you can have them add cheese and bacon too. Positive Candor says, what is Mamo Praise? What is, let me see what's going on here. They're asking questions. Entenmann's all butter loaf and backup are out of stock.
Nope.
Um, Sorry, guys. Do you have a way of checking? I don't know if you have a way of going to the app.
I'm sorry. I don't know why it's not showing up.
You're welcome. You really deserve excellent service. Joseph, you're welcome. You really deserve an excellent service at all times. Thank you so much for your time and help. See you soon. Blessings. And then a whole bunch of pictures. Yeah, okay. Sorry, guys. We were had a Instacart order or something coming. Shipped. Okay, that's why. That's why. Anyway. Dear Bob. You're right there. Yeah, so that's where you get your sense to kill the spider. Positive Candor says, what is Mamo Pray's favorite birthday?
My birthday?
What's your favorite birthday? I don't understand the question. Was you like what, like her 21st or something? No, I don't know. I don't know, Mamo Pray. Mamo Pray didn't remember any special birthday.
I mean, they're all pretty good, but nothing stands out. Oh, of course. I don't remember. I think it was my 50th.
Oh, her 50th birthday?
Yeah. You sent me on a trip to Florida.
Ah,
Yes.
yes, I
That
sent
was my birthday.
Mamo Pray for her Florida trip,
Right. It was my 50th birthday.
50th birthday.
That wasn't so much the birthday itself.
Well, it wasn't
It
so
was
much the
the
day,
gift you gave.
the gift.
Yes.
Melted Copper says Christmas, that's Jesus's birthday. As kids, birthdays are fun. As you get older, it's like, no, I'm zooming to death. Slow down. What's the rush? John Araki says Bird's favorite birthday is Nancy Pelosi's, followed by AOC's. JP says loud noises happen. Bird, let's get let a giant fart go. Dan Ben doesn't mind some loud noises. I hate being told to calm down in a situation. If someone gets rid of the situation, I'll calm down. And also hates bugs. JP says, I effing hate spiders. Shit with more eyes and legs than me. Don't deserve to live. Dan Benz's SG1 episode where people start singing those bugs from another dimension. JP's says, Bird, I will still lose my shit and do not care who was sitting next to me. Well, JP's, I was surprised myself. Melted Copper says, I hate burns. Burns are the worst. Please stop paying me to a toothache. Positive Candor says, the funniest joke that I've heard you tell today, Berto Frey, the spider story. Well, that wasn't a joke. That was real. JP says, oh no, the vehicle is heading off a cliff. All of a sudden, Bird jumps out and you go over the edge and die. I jumped out of my Jeep Cherokee. We were driving up in the Adirondacks. It was the very first time I was up there with my college friends. We got up there in the middle of a blizzard. I was driving along the state road. I had missed the exit. Well, it wasn't an exit. I had missed the road that came in off the state highway, it's very likely it hadn't been, the road hadn't been plowed, so I didn't see it. And unfortunately, after I missed it, we were in a very, very dark section of road. There was, absolutely no street lights. And I must have hit, like, the snow was in the middle of the road, and I hit the snow, and it caused my Jeep to spin around. And there was another car following me behind me. And as we spun, we did a 180, and I ended up seeing like my friend's face in his, in his, actually I did 360. Because yeah, at one point we were backwards. I see my friend's face looking at me like, oh my God. And then we kept turning, but I jumped out of the Jeep. Luckily, it caught, and there was just happened to be a spot where there was a minimal gate or fence to keep you on the road, because had it been like 20 feet further up or 20 feet before, there was no railing, there was no shoulder. We just got very, very lucky that I ended up in the shoulder, and the Jeep had nowhere to go. When we got to the house, finally, my friend just got in and just collapsed onto the couch. Like he didn't think he was going to survive. JP says, oh no, the vehicle is heading off the cliff. Yep, that's exactly. Dan Ben got stung by a wasp in the ear. Oh my God, sorry to hear that. JP says, oh my God, there's Entenmann's in Canada. Yep. Thomas Potts is very cowardly. Typical Klingon. JP says, damn it, it's all sold out. Thomas Potts says, Bird isn't a Klingon, he's a Klingork. God damn it, Thomas. John Araki says, this weekend, remember to tune in to Cinema Saturdays, Face Your Fears, double feature, My Girl, and Arachnophobia. Oh, fuck no. No, no, no. Absolutely never Arachnophobia. My Girl, I could manage. JP says, in winter, they're everyday occurrence for me, but you butt fuckers are just along for the ride. Dear Bob, if I don't like something that most people like, should I never say I don't like it? That's up to you, man. I would say it. I'd be honest. But yeah, it's a risk. It's a risk you take. It depends what it is, I mean, if it's a food or something, a song, that's not so bad. If it's a political candidate or a something like that, that could be a bigger thing. If it's a Star Trek story, you don't like trials and tribulations, that's some serious fuckery. Dear Bob, Would you rather be chased by 50 Stephen Hawking, whose chair can go 30 miles per hour, or face 20 Helen Sellers with a handgun? You mean Helen Kellers with a handgun? That is so 50 Stephen Hawkings whose chair can go 30 miles per hour. Well, that's deadly. I mean, honestly, even if one Stephen Hawking whose chair could go 30, that's quite a lot faster than my chair. So, or 20 Helen Kellers with a handgun. You know, to be honest, probably the Helen Kellers are more likely to kill each other. After 3 or 4 shots, there's probably only 3 or 4 Helen Kellers left. I might have to say the Helen Kellers, especially if I'm in my wheelchair. If I'm in my bed, I don't know. How far away are the Helen Kellers? And how far away are the Stephen Hawkings? And do they even know that they're coming for me? JP says bees are okay, they make honey. Yeah, arachnophobia, indeed. Thomas Potts says, make sure you watch Life with Matthew tonight. He's doing Babylon 5 with Jeff. He's doing it quite late, if I remember. JP says, I don't like these questions. Dan Ben says, I'm not afraid to say I hate Doctor Who. Blink. JP says, this one doesn't even know it's Helen Keller, not Helen Seller. JP says, why do Helen Keller's dog run away? You would too if your name was Doris. Or Helen Keller's dog. Dear Bob, I started a joke which started the whole world crying, but I didn't see the joke was on me. Oh no, I started to cry, which started the whole world laughing. Oh, if only I'd seen that the joke was on me. I looked at the skies, running my hands over my eyes, and I fell out of my bed, hurting my head from the things that I've said, till finally died, which started the whole world living. Oh, if only I'd seen the joke was on me. I looked at the skies, running my hands over my eyes, and I fell out of bed, hurting my head from things that I'd said, till finally I died, which started the whole world living. Oh, and if I only seen that the joke was on me. Oh, that joke was on me. Okay. Dear Bob, Salty on his live stream the other night said that Guinan was your favorite character on Next Gen, but you were afraid to tell your listeners about your true feelings. Come on, man, fess up. Is Guinan your favorite over Troy? I'm very disappointed. Ethel Merman. No, Guinan is not my favorite, although I do think she's probably a better listener than Troy. Dear Bob, what do you think of the artist renderings for the USS Enterprise NCC 1701G. It's the New Horizon class starship in the upcoming Discovery final season. I have not heard of it. I have not seen it. I really don't care. I guess I'll see it when it comes up in a trailer or something. Dear Bach, do you like Rocky Mountain oysters? Fuck no. I've never tried them and I'm never going to. I know what they are. They're delicious, and I have them at least once a week. I can send you some if you've never tried them, LDG. Yeah, I know that's not from LDG. Dear Bob, I like script writing in the snow with my pee. I pee that Discovery sucks with an exclamation point in the snow yesterday, and some loser yelled at me, and they said that show was excellent. I should not make a public comment like that. What should I have said to them in response? Shut up, I will write it with my poop next. Yuri analysis. Yes, that's what you should have said. Dear Bob, just curious, do you have a favorite YouTuber that you hang out with? No. No. Every YouTuber I hang out with is at the time my least favorite. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No. I don't want to start getting into picking favorites. It just my favorite YouTubers are well, it always changes, to be honest. It's always different. What I am shocked that somebody put in all of those dear bops. I honestly don't know. That was one or two people, or like 15 different people just decided to do dear bops, or what the hell the difference was between this weekend and any given weekend, since so many weekends we've had almost no dear bops. But wow, quite the difference. Quite the unusual weekend. I had no, I honestly assumed that most of these were just, I'm going to say these were high quality, but I really thought that they were just going to be absolute garbage. And they're not. They're not. JP says, I don't like these questions. JP says, everyone is Bird's favorite. Dr. Scotty, kapla, Dr. Scotty. Says, Bird, what about Deej? Dr. Scotty, Deej, we spoke to Deej early this morning. He is, I thought it was this morning. Was it yesterday? Was it yesterday or today? I am out of it. It might have been yesterday, Dr. Scotty, now that I think about it. In any case, Deej is not doing the greatest. He was hurting. He has a doctor's appointment on Tuesday. So yeah, it must have been yesterday. It must have been yesterday. He has a doctor's appointment on Tuesday. Hopefully, he'll know more. He'll know more after that. But we did speak to him. He was okay, but he is hurting. So obviously, anybody, if you believe in prayer or good vibes or whatever, just think of it and send those to Deej. John Aragi says Bird's favorite was the anti-tracker, but he sold out and left Bird jaded. No, Salty in the beginning, Salty was a favorite, but I've told this before, and I will say it again. Doomcock is definitely a favorite. He is really good at keeping me entertained. He does a nice selection of jokes. Friday Night Frolics is probably my favorite YouTube show. Mom will pray likes it too. It's good fun. But truth be told, I prefer smaller streams. And last night, after I had finished playing, and I went back to Cinnabon stream, and it was Cinnabon, LDG, and Mr. Londell. That was a great little group. Hearing them talk, those three people on the panel was a solid panel, and I really enjoyed hearing the banter between those three. It was yesterday, says LDG. JP's confirmed yesterday. We got him in the underground. He's doing okay. He's doing better slightly, says LDG. Dr. says, gosh, I had no clue that Deej was hurting. Yeah, that's why you haven't seen him stream in a while. He unfortunately he took a hit. John Araki says, poor Deej, infected hemorrhoids are no joke. That's not his problem, Dr. Scotty. Anyway, we are, even though I only did Dear Bob, we are way late. So I am going to call it here. I'm glad we got through the Dear Bops. Gorilla says we've got to go watch Lost in Space before Cub Scouts. Okay, go ahead, do that, Gorilla. I'm gonna call it here, a stream here. Thank you all for hanging out. We got through the Dear Bops, and Kapla all. Bird out.